Farmer Courtney here. Haven't seen me because I've been going through this illness trial. And it was really interesting because right before it all hit and happened and just knocked me out and almost out of this world, I had been going and checking messages like in my social folder. And I was reading some comments on YouTube, of people being like, why'd you stop making videos? It's like, why did I stop making videos? And, I have a list of reasons. I don't have memory on my phone. I wasn't feeling like it was good enough. Does anybody even care? All this stuff. And I was pushing hard to overcome it and come out with this new newsletter, the, too remix, the too much news for people who ask too many questions, who have been and told that they're just over the top too much, right? Like, this is the news remix for you. And so I have been working on that. And then I just wasn't really seeing the significance of my life, I think, is really, so I had to go through this experience. So I went through this experience of just getting really ill. And then also this experience of being able to see how not only am I not on my duty to create the content that comes through, having it on a legal pad or a Google Doc and not actually completed, that's not being obedient. That's not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be receiving, creating, sharing. And then that's it. Like, no judgment on it. Like, just do it. And I haven't been. I've been in the way of that process. And so I haven't been on here. I haven't been making content. I haven't been doing anything. Because, I was having a experience in homeopathy, getting to know the remedies better. So it was interesting when it first hit. I was having dreams about the remedies, and I had been feeling poorly, and so I was taking this remedy and I was taking that remedy. It wasn't excessive, but it was, it was a lot. And in my dream, I was meeting the remedy and being like, you're Byronia, and certain characteristics and qualities. And then the whole scene in my dream would shift, and I'd be like, and you're aconite, and you're dulcimium, and you're this, you're that. And I remember waking up and asking my daughter, did I make a lot of noise last night? Because I just felt like I went through it in this dream, and I'm in this big house. I was staying with her, taking care of her, wound up, getting run down in the process, but she really did need somebody there to take care of her at the time. So then I arrived home on Wednesday, and our house was really cold. And I thought, okay, I can handle this, but my body, the cold, it just snapped me into just complete shutdown. And I remember laying down and going to sleep, and just turning on the heater, which I don't usually do. We heat with wood. And then I heard my son exclaiming profanity of how he busted up the glass on the glass doors of the wood stove. I've shown them before, but the glass doors on the wood stove. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So that meant a specialty trip to a glass store to have it fixed, and we aren't going to have a fire. So I was just like, okay, buckle up, this isn't going to be good. And then a couple hours later, my younger daughters were dropped off. They had been with their father while I was taking care of my older daughter. They had gotten dropped off. And then we were just down here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On Friday, I got contacted from one of my other daughters, and she asked me, what are you eating? And I was like, eating? I'm not eating. I'm not. I'm too tired. I can't get up. I can't make anything. I have water. I have a straw. That was my big thing, was I couldn't do anything except for just take remedies and lay in bed and just pray that I could wake up again, right? And be able to get up. And so then, I was rallying and using all the energy that I had to get across the house and take care of my son. And yeah, it was just one of those interesting experiences. I did feel some kind of way about how the whole thing went down, and talked about it, and then there were things shared of like just of the whole thing, and so I realized how keeping my mouth shut, like on all the levels, and not saying anything, like not wanting to bother people or not wanting to have to ask things of people or whatever, that it brought me to this point. So in homeopathy, there's this remedy called carbo-veg. And carbo-veg, normally, when you learn about it and how you use it, pre-pandemic, it's a gas remedy. It's a GI remedy for so picture that you've eaten beans that aren't well cooked or things like that. And that's primarily how I always use carbo-veg, and I love it. And it was one of the top 5 remedies that I learned and relied on for 15 years, and didn't really know very much about homeopathy. And I had always read about it in a higher potency. It's called the corpse reviver. And so I'm, laying in bed feeling absolutely like I'm going to expire and just leave this world. My pulses were really low. I was super, I had done a lot of healing with homeopathy, and so I definitely didn't have the same manifesting illness that I would have had, like I didn't have the same thing that I had 20 years ago. But I remember waking up and just being like, I can't hardly move. So I was in one of the study groups that I'm in, and I had seen these 2 remedies that I had never used together, specifically carbo-veg and veritum album for collapse. And it was like any kind of emergency situation, regardless of what it is, I always use this one homeopath that's I don't know very well, but I study his things, and he's very confident about his method. He's very confident about his thing. So I look and I realize I had them both. And so I took them, and then I felt like a next degree of vitality returned, and a whole nother deeper energetic in my body to be take a breath in. And it wasn't that I couldn't breathe, it was just that my pulses were super low, and my whole life force was just really low. And so then I took it and was like, oh, this is why they call this the corpse reviver. Carbo-veg is literally, when you learn about it, carbo-veg 200 is known as the corpse reviver. Usually I would study about it in regard to livestock. If a kid is born really weak, or a lamb is born really weak, or that kind of thing, that's typically how mothers that I know have had the experience of using it. And so I thought okay, I'll take these. And that's why I'm here speaking with you right now, I think. Yeah, I just realized how so many levels of just being quiet and sort of hiding out, and not putting in the time of really articulating, just sort of cruising along, not trying to be a problem. I guess I just got really tired of fighting and defining and just trying to maintain and justify and be allowed to be who I am. That I just got really, really tired of everything. And then Allah showed me in that moment of no, really, you're so on the line. Don't play with me. You're either gonna get up and do what you're supposed to do, or you're not. And it's curtains. This is it. And so I did finally say to people that I know who don't live anywhere around here, I was honest about what was going on, because it was I was so hurt that it was going on. I've spent literally my whole life taking care of people, and being really observant And that's what I do, you know? And it wasn't returned. And it's like, especially at this stage in the whole pandemic thing, it's like, it's not that serious, and it is and it isn't, you know what I mean? It's like, it's nothing to play with, but it's also, it's not this great unknown. And so yeah, it's not magic to take care of people when they're not well. They need food, they need water, they need people to like check on them. And if you don't want to go in and you don't want to be exposed to it, like, that's understandable. But a certain level of food and care should be provided. I was able to, administer all the remedies myself, and I was able to keep current. But it took all of my mental faculties to like remember all the remedies and do all the things that I know. And so I was able to do it. And then I went to bed Saturday night thinking like, okay, my hopes are on that we're going to get some food on Sunday. And then I woke up to like that no help was coming. And so it was also like traditional or like Orthodox Easter, because they don't move the thing around. They keep the dates. And so, yeah, it took me hours, but I finally placed my first like online grocery order. And I resurrected myself because it had been 5 days. And I was just like, I'm going to go get food or die trying. Like, I cannot do this. Being really far from town has always been an issue. It's always a sticky issue. It has a lot of things that go along with it. I am grateful to not be in a city and to like have the spot that I have, but it is not something to take lightly, because every little thing. So it's like a whole nother video. I won't get into it. But anyway, we managed, by the grace of Allah, to get to the grocery store without incident or issue. I took those remedies like right before I left. Took those remedies, picked up our order, came home. Miraculously, literally, it was 90 degrees in April when I was picking up the groceries. It was the most bizarre experience. So we came home, had all the soup fixings, everything. I made us like a really nourishing pot of soup. Before that, like, had only really been able to make a pot of beans one day. I was able to make a pot of beans. And then I was able to like beg off some broth from next door to get a pot of broth. But I guess it was just one of those situations where it wasn't well understood or communicated that I wasn't doing well. And yeah, so then on Saturday, so we went from Wednesday, I had a pot of beans on Friday, and then a bowl of soup Saturday, and added some of those beans. And then Sunday, I was able to make ourselves like a nourishing thing. And then that's when I finally got enough energy in my body to like really start healing, and just gave me pause. So anyway, that's where I've been. In case anybody's been wondering, haven't been on vacation or like doing anything fun and fancy. I've just been kind of going through it. And I am thankful for everybody who was on Anywhere putting out encouraging content for like the couple minutes that I would like tap in and remember that there was like a whole world out there outside of my own suffering and bedroom and everything. So anyway, keep your eye out for the too much news, the two remix news that I'm going to be coming on. It isn't going to be fancy. It's going to be rough in the beginning. It's just going to be me. But yeah. All right. Until next time. Peace.